很好吃，很好吃。绍兴酒 ，so secret. This is your secrets out. Now people know. The flavors inside here are explosive. For me, this is absolutely delicious. Flavor of the beef in there is really accentuated. There's the truffle oil. 主厨很 specifically the amount of the glaze on there, the mirin and the hoisin just adds a slight richness and slight depth to the character, but the initial taste is just the delicious, crystal clear if you take a look at it. Very, very clean, simmered for hours and hours and hours, and lots of different spices in here. Just incredibly rich, full flavors, star anise, cinnamon, roasted onion, ginger, hints of lots of different full beef flavors, but highlighted by all those herbal accents and Planet Zaza Zoo. Okay.
And smoked like yuzu.
That fresh
yuzu.
Flavor. So this is definitely a showstopper of a dessert.
In 2019, the Michelin Guide recommended 31 restaurants in Prague, 4 of which focused mainly on Asian cuisine. Since opening back in 2009, the Michelin restaurant I'm visiting today has been the standard for Pan-Asian cuisine in Prague.
The district that I'm in right now outside Prague, about 100 years ago, was a bustling warehouse area. But nowadays, it's filled with restaurants and shops where people can really enjoy their day off. This building in particular, you see with the cow head on there, it actually used to be a slaughterhouse. But now it's home to Michelin 2019年餐盘推荐 the restaurant Zaza Zoo. Now, the head chef for this particular restaurant, Indonesian, has lived in Holland, now is in Prague, but his cuisine has an interesting mix of Asian elements combined with some fusion techniques, so I'm really excited to see how that plays out on our palate. Let's go. Whoa, so this is the interior of Zaza Zoo. Very interesting, pretty incredible. I see lots of different elements here of Asian, 很神秘的这种色彩 of 亚洲的这种 flavor, and I see there's kind of 佛教 elements here with the Buddhas here. The lanterns are very reminiscent of kind of this Asian feeling, and I think what's interesting also here, where are you from? So let's take a look. There's also a map here of people from all over the world. 全世界的人都有来过 and Taiwan, so 很多 guests 从台湾也都来过. And I think what's also interesting for me is the color. So it's red inside here, and red, especially an Asian color, representing celebration and good times. So I think we're in for a good time here at Zaza Zoo.
Everyone, welcome to Asia. Stepping into the restaurant is like being transported into a mysterious and exclusive Asian hideaway. Of this, Prague's most popular Asian restaurant, the Michelin Guide writes, "You'll find this chic restaurant and bar inside a cavernous warehouse in Prague Market. The extensive menu lists dishes under their cooking techniques, with all the sweet, sour, spicy, and salty flavors of Southeast Asia present. Today, I'm set to sample 7 dishes from the menu. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Asian flavors I'm familiar with get a gorgeous transformation here in Prague."
I'm here at restaurant Zaza Zoo in Prague with Chef Andy Tan. Hi, Andy. I'm Jason.
Yeah, welcome to Zaza Zoo Kitchen.
Thank you. Nice to meet
restaurant.
you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm really excited about the food today, and I wanted to ask you, what is your background?
I was born in Indonesia, from Surakarta, but I stay in Holland for 40 years because I work in Prague. I moved here for 5 years already. This is about Southeast Asiatics mixed together with French kitchen, Italian kitchen.
Okay.
We call say East meet West together.
Tan, is that a Chinese name?
Yes, Chinese name, Hokkien name.
福建
Hokkien.
OK， 原来这位主厨是福建华侨。Tan in what's the actual Chinese?
Chen.
OK，
yes, yes.
这位姓陈 Tan 福建话。Lots of cultural influences from different places. So I'm very excited to try your food today.
Of Chinese descent and having grown up in Indonesia, Chef Andy combines his heritage with all the experiences of travels through Thailand, Cambodia, and other Southeast Asian countries to create his exclusive Zaza Zoo cooking style. The menu here is designed around 5 important techniques found in Asian cooking to highlight the essence of Asian cuisine. Now, let's follow Chef Andy as we start our Michelin taste journey through Asia.
This is from Vietnam. We call in the sambal station.
Okay.
Starter, full color.
Yes.
And fresh, very fresh.
Very fresh.
We use a lot of herbs from Vietnam.
Okay. And I think it's interesting, this dish comes from the sambal
Yes, sambal.
portion of your menu. What is sambal? And
Sambal is mean that the chili paste in station and like starter.
Starter. Okay.
Yeah, it's
fresh starter.
Yeah.
Delicious. The sambal sauce, this sauce has in here.
Vinaigrette, coriander vinaigrette,
Okay.
palm sugar, lemon,
Ah.
fish sauce.
Okay, I'm gonna try one here. Dip it
Enjoy
in
it.
here. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
And I think what's really interesting for me is it looks just like a simple, colorful Vietnamese spring roll, but the flavors inside here are explosive. As you bite into here, there's that zing from the fruit, and then there's a crunchy bit crackers in there, and then there's the fresh mint kind of all in there, and then the vinaigrette just really ties it together, that little bit of zing and acidity and acid. It's actually a 很完美的一个小口， It's 不是像你通常会想到的这种越南春卷的口感。And I think the 口感 is 很丰富，因为又有脆的，然后里头的葡萄柚的 segments, it's very, very, very juicy. And again, one of the trademark signature is the Vietnamese paper.
Yeah.
It's nice and chewy too.
Yeah.
So it's a really amazing bite in one dish. So delicious,
Yeah.
delicious.
Thank you.
The first dish has already been a major surprise. It's like a trip to Vietnam. Chef has retained the spirit of Vietnamese spring rolls, but the result is 10 times more delicious. Intense flavors have been layered upon each other, and the overall taste is rich and stays on the palate. For the second course, Chef Andy is taking us to China. Guess what we're having?
This is the Peking duck.
Yes, with the foie gras and Chinese pancake.
Wow! This is Peking duck.
Peking duck. Yes.
You know why I'm so surprised? Because it's not what I expected in my head.
This is I make East meat West together, like with Peking duck from Chinese.
Yes.
And I have foie gras, saute foie gras, and I put with mirin hoisin sauce.
Oh gosh. How did you think to combine foie gras with
With
the
Peking duck.
Yeah.
It's making juicy, it's more nice taste. But you can try it. You can like a Chinese
Okay.
style, Chinese
Okay.
way.
The cucumber and then also the spring
Spring onion.
onion, tong, and there is the beautiful duck that we have here, but a little bit of a surprise.
Duck liver, saute duck liver.
Okay, why did you choose duck liver over goose liver, or just because it's the same?
I think it's duck liver is more nice than goose liver. What I learned.
Yes.
And it's more soft.
Soft
More
texture.
taste.
Okay. I think it's also interesting. Typically, when we see Peking duck in our head, we think
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Whole-
But here you've kind of elevated it, made it more elegant,
Ele-
more polished. So it's nice. Okay, so just
Okay.
wrap it up.
Wrap it.
Wrap it up and.
Yeah.
Oh, yum.
Oh.
And specifically the amount of the glaze on there, the mirin and the hoisin just adds a slight richness and slight depth to the character, but the initial taste is just the delicious duck meat, and you get the crunch of the cucumber, you get the spring onion, and then you get that creamy texture of that
Duck.
of the duck liver on there. And I think you can really taste the flavor of the duck and really appreciate that. So, wow, that's unexpected.
This dish just highlights again the amazing creativity of Michelin level chefs. The second dish's theme is roti, referencing oven roasting. Besides the clever addition of duck liver, Chef has also replaced the traditional sweet tianmianjiang bean sauce with his own recipe using mirin and hoisin, creating a fresh new take on roast Peking duck. Which country are we going to for our next dish?
The menu is between Japanese kitchen and French kitchen.
Ah, okay.
I mix together.
Yes.
Why? Because I make dasilik. We use noli prat,
Yes.
cream,
Oh, very French. With
wine.
Okay.
and with creme fraiche.
Ah, very different. Very
Different,
different.
yeah.
And this is from the otak part of the menu.
Yes.
And what is otak?
Otak is mean that otak is mean in Indonesian language is brains.
Ah, and oftentimes it's used for like cooking seafood, right? Otak is also like fish cake.
Yeah, fish
also.
cake.
Otak originates from fishing villages in Indonesia and in simple terms refers to a grilled fish cake made by mixing fish paste and tapioca with spices. Because the dish ends up being whitish gray and soft, locals gave it the name otak or brains in Indonesian. Here, Chef Andy has borrowed this concept and turned otak into a seafood-centered dish. This creation is presented with Japanese-style battered tempura shrimps paired with a French-inspired cream sauce. And since Vietnam was once colonized by France, this ode to the influences and flavors of Vietnamese French cuisine is called Hanoi shrimps.
So let's try this
Try
here.
this.
Okay. It's not what I expected. The shrimp, of course, delightfully fried, nice and crunchy, and then the inside is very, very succulent. But the sauce itself is very, very different. So it's a little bit creamy.
Creamy.
It has the flavor of the wine a little bit.
Wine. And
then,
leek.
And leek. So 等于是大蒜苗类的东西。所以这个是很传统的法国的用法。Why did you want to develop this dish?
In Asia, I found it in street food. We eat with the mayonnaise. You know,
Yeah.
like cream wasabi mayonnaise. Because I have a French kitchen.
Yeah.
That's the I put in the French kitchen together with the Japanese kitchen together.
A diverse cultural background and the rich experiences of living in different countries give Chef Andy endless ideas to draw from when creating new dishes. The fourth dish follows the theme of grilling under Tai Tai Grill. I hear it's a special dish from Chef's hometown.
We call Tornado Surakarta.
Tornado Surakarta.
Surakarta, I come from
That's-
Surakarta.
yes, okay.
Was I born in Surakarta? That's why I staying. Okay, I make the dishes from Surakarta. I mean, Indonesia with Vietnam, we mix together.
okay.
In Vietnam, we use a lot of herbs.
Yes, so I
Like
see.
a basilicum, coriander, tiato.
And look at this beautiful color,
Tiato,
purple. Yes.
is right.
Mushroom.
Chicken mushroom.
Mushroom. Okay. And the different sauces.
Yeah, avocado.
Avocado,
This is coriander oil.
coriander, 香菜油.
Yeah.
Okay.
Magic chili.
Magic chili.
Dry chili.
Okay. So this is very, very spicy or?
No, not very
Not
spicy.
really, okay.
No, not really.
And I'm seeing also in here,
yeah,
are there peanuts? Ah, okay.
Okay.
So 原来这个辣椒里头有花生，所以不是很辣的。And the pickles, what
The
are
pickle, like we call kimchi, but I make different kimchi.
Okay.
Yeah, like pickle from cabbage with paprika.
Ah, okay. What is this sauce here?
It's pepper sauce.
Pepper sauce.
Pepper sauce.
Ah, okay. So 原来这道菜好像是很好玩的，为什么？ Well, 你看这么多选择 of all these different 配料，你等于是可以自己做你喜欢吃的。So we
And
have
the meat is very beautiful. USDA meat,
Best
very
quality.
tender.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. It's high quality.
okay, so
You can
beautiful
choose it.
cook.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this in here, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of the coriander sauce here, and then you said avocado. Okay.
mousse, yeah.
Avocado mousse, and put a little bit of the herbs in here,
Herbs.
and then a little bit of
Basilic.
the basil, okay, and a little bit of this. It's so colorful
Like
too.
colorful, yes.
Very, very colorful. So I have a question for you, and that is, so many different things you can put on the menu. How do you choose which dishes you want to put on the menu?
The concept is sharing. Because we cannot eat only pasta or some noodles or ramen, and one dishes we make like full. No. Sharing.
So
Just
that's the
small,
concept.
small
Okay.
dishes, and then we can eat together.
Okay, so I just have to interrupt you because the flavor in this, just like your other dishes, is so delicious.
Thank you.
And what's delicious about this? The herb element is so very, very fresh. A lot of times when you think about meat, you think about heavy meaty flavors, but it's a lovely, juicy slice of this beef here, but it's elevated by all the different herbal elements. 所以每一样香料都有它自己的作用。This one, the basil is very fresh and kind of licoricey, and then you have all this element here of the
Thai coriander.
The coriander. And I think what's really amazing for me is that it just adds such a layer of freshness. And even just this and the meat is delicious, but no, you didn't stop there. You added, there's coriander oil, there's the creaminess from the avocado. 所以主厨有想到, wait, how can I make this dish even more exciting? Because just this alone is delicious, but then you added all these elements, and it's like a party in my mouth.
慢慢吃，
慢慢吃，慢慢吃。
好吃吗？
很好吃，很好吃。Oh my gosh, he speaks Chinese.
谢谢。
Crazy.
In this Surakarta Tornados steak dish, chef borrows from Indonesian technique and uses an abundance of fresh herbs to infuse this dish with Southeast Asian smoky char and fresh spicy flavors. The city of Surakarta on the island of Java has lots of people of Chinese ancestry. When we brought this up, chef even spoke a few words of Fukienese Chinese.
Kamsia, and eat ji sam si u liu chi pa juicer like that.
Isn't Chef Andy adorable? He said he's gonna brush up on his Fukienese so next time he can talk with us in Chinese. Next up, here comes our fifth dish.
The disease is of, we call it from flame.
Flame.
From wok.
Okay.
Or another name wok.
Yes.
It's from red curry with beef and with shrimp. The disease is from Thailand.
Ah, Thailand.
The beef fillet we use first with wok it in the wok.
Okay.
And then after we make a sauce, we put in the wok.
Okay. And usually eat with
Yeah.
the rice? Okay. 他们的饭也不是普通的饭，你看都还有一些炸的洋葱在上头。I think it's interesting. It's beef and shrimp.
Shrimp.
Why just not beef or why just not shrimp?
Because I think, people love combination like a surf and turf. Shrimp, meat, and fish together. That's why I make like a surf and turf, but it's from red curry. Shrimp with beef together.
因为它的牛肉里头 actually 有炒过，有这种锅气的flavor that adds a really rich element that you wouldn't get if you just had one type of cooking style. And gali, maybe you've had it before and things like that, but this is gali kind of times 10. The flavor is very, very, very intense, not salty at all, but just very rich and concentrated. Some of the spices in a typical curry are, which spices are in the curry?
Yeah, with chili paste,
Chili
red
paste.
curry paste, basilicum, coconut,
Coconut,
garlic ginger,
garlic ginger.
Shaoxing wine.
绍兴酒. So secret, this is your secret's out. Now people know. Just thinking about all those different elements that he's combining in the plate really takes a lot of experience and knowledge from just your training and where you've traveled to know how to use all the different ingredients in a balanced way in the dish. Really shows off your skill.
Yes.
And I think it's amazing.
When I was young, I love xiaolongbao, like dim sum. We call dim sum in
点心, yeah.
in Indonesia. I was a lot traveling. I love dim sum. There's my idea. I put dim sum to sasasu like street food, but I make different. I make from short rib and beetroot, daikon, and sunflower and shiitake sauce.
I'm very curious what the taste is like here, so.
Inside is juicy. Short rib. Do you like it?
It's very, very not what I expected, but in a very good way. 通常小笼包 maybe 我们蘸醋 or 姜丝，但是它等于是把外面的这些萝卜还有甜菜的这些丝，等于是代替 the ginger. So it's a way of kind of transforming the ingredients. 小笼包通常里面是猪肉的这种 fresh taste, 但是它是用 short ribs. So that's very, very, very different because traditionally it's a pork filling.
Pork, yes.
And why did you choose to use the short ribs?
Because it's more fat and tender, I think so.
I think 很值得就是提一下，你如果叫了这道菜，也许到桌上你会觉得哦，这是小笼包，然后你也许会吃，然后觉得哎，好像这个不是很道地，但是 That's not the point in this particular dish. 你要想到主厨有用一个别的肉来 instead of the pork filling to use that， 这是他的创意力。也许你觉得哦这个不道理，但是我们不要用这个概念。我们的概念 is 我们要想一下我们在哪里？我们是在 Prague in the Czech Republic。他们也许这边的食材 is 不一样，但是主要是他小时候吃到这个小笼包，他有 in his memory 这个概念 and this lovely flavor of a 小笼包，所以他想 recreate， 但是用这边的食材，用不一样的方法，可以把中西合并。This really is the 精神 of the fusion cooking.
I never imagined you could transform classic 小笼包 like this. These are A+ for creativity and flavor. I wonder what other surprises are up next.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
What is in here? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Something, a surprise in there, right?
Surprise.
Special with a chocolate ball for you. Different kind of chocolate.
So it's time for dessert, huh?
Yes.
It's time for dessert. Okay.
Do you have memory? Oh, last one is dessert. Beautiful dessert. Very tasty. Nice.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Actually.
Okay. So what is this?
You put some yuzu,
Yuzu.
lime leaf.
Okay. So lots of floral citrus smells in here. And then,
So it's like really fresh flavor, really liquid nitrogen.
Yes.
So watch out.
oh gosh, here we go. So cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh. Do you see this?
It's open.
Yes.
Oh gosh. And
Now leave it open.
oh my gosh. Wow.
Open.
See?
Surprise!
Surprise.
We have a Zazasu style surprise for you.
Oh my gosh.
Different kind of chocolates. We have some mochi ice cream. We have some brownie. We have some fruits. We have some mousse.
And
Oh
you
my
can
God.
smell the taste. See?
Okay, this is just
Easy, yeah.
absolutely stunning here. Wow. It's like another planet.
Yeah.
Planet Zazazu. Okay.
And smoke like yuzu.
That fresh
yuzu.
flavor. So this is definitely a showstopper of a dessert, and just the presentation on the table without the dry ice is plenty. But
Yes.
then you went ahead and the
had it.
yuzu, the dry ice, the theatrical presentation is just really stunning. And I think especially at the end of the meal, you want to leave with a really amazing impression in your head, and this definitely people will not forget.
Yeah.
Not forget. Okay. Will you have
Enjoy
some
it.
with me?
Yes.
Have some,
Yeah.
please. Dessert
Yeah.
to share. So amazing. Here there is
Yes, yeah.
mint here. all sorts of
Strawberry, moist.
things. And all these different textures, flavors. The chocolate,
Brownie,
brownie.
mochi. 好吃吗？
很好吃。
谢谢。
很多口感，很多 flavors, 很多 textures, a lot of colors, a lot of aromas. And again, something sweet but not too sweet to really end out the meal in a really lovely way. 这个 chocolate is actually 80%到90% cocoa chocolate, so it's very, very high quality chocolate. That's why you get that nice snap and also that extra layer of flavor as you're eating. 因为 好的 chocolate 就是有很多种层次的香味 and flavors as you're eating it.
There couldn't be a more perfect way to end today's Michelin feast than with this jaw-dropping dessert. Are you kidding me? I'm very familiar with Asian flavors, but having tasted these 7 dishes, even my taste buds have been surprised. Chef captures the spirit of Asian cooking, but infuses his own creativity, adding local ingredients and drawing on elements from European cuisine, and ends up with an entirely fresh take on what you thought you knew as Asian food. The dishes on the menu capture the sizzling aromas of Asian street food, a vibrant abundance of ingredients, and a kaleidoscope of spices and fresh herbs, all ready for you to taste. Thank you, Chef Andy, for your incredibly generous hospitality. But before I go, Chef gives me a special invitation to the kitchen to cook a signature dish and to mark the end of my unforgettable food hunter journey in Central Europe, which is coming soon to a close.
This is the name is Tan Tan roll because
Tan roll.
Tan Tan roll.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
Because my name is Tan, family name.
Okay.
And I create the East Meet West together about the Vietnam kitchen mixed with the French kitchen.
Okay, because I see this is
Yes.
from Vietnam, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
rice paper roll.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So what are we using today?
We can start it.
Yes, please.
In Vietnam, we use always a lot of rice pepper.
Yeah.
And then we put it on the water.
Okay, so in
Just not
here-
too wet.
So just a little bit to moisten it, you can see.
And we brush it first
Oh, okay.
with truffle oil, the beef.
Okay, so this is 松露的油, and it just makes very, very, very
Yeah.
aromatic.
Aromatic,
Okay, I'll keep
truffle.
going.
Yeah, you
Yes.
keep it.
Thank you. Thank you. And what kind of
USDA beef.
USDA
beef
okay.
premium
Premium.
is one of the best beef.
所以好的食材一定要用到.
Yeah.
Okay, so we take this.
Yeah, and then we put a little salt.
Salt. Okay. So again, everything, no matter what you're making, you always have to season. You must put
Season,
salt.
yes.
Okay.
And a little pepper.
Okay, a little pepper. Great.
Okay. Just on the side.
Okay, put this on the side.
Yes.
Got it.
And then the olive,
Okay.
put like that.
How come in Prague there's Vietnamese
This come from
herbs?
Vietnam.
Ah.
Yeah. In Prague we have like sapa.
Ah.
Sapa is a lot of herbs from Vietnam.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So there's a big Vietnamese
Yeah.
population here.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So put it like this, and then
And then we put some dishes here.
okay.
We mix together with vinaigrette.
Okay. So you can see 每一个步骤都要加 flavor, right? 不是光就是这个菜就下去，但是有一个特别的酱。So, okay. So I'm gonna mix this.
Mix this.
Can I taste this a little bit?
Yeah.
So, togarashi. Okay, so
Very fresh, yeah?
Very, very
Very
fresh.
fresh, yeah.
There's a nice acidity. There's sesame oil.
Sesame
in there
oil.
that for that nuttiness, but also the
we put
togarashi.
togarashi.
日本用的这个 togarashi powder gives a little bit of spice, a little bit of
Spicy.
flavor. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So mix this in here,
Yeah.
and then
we
how
put
much?
Here.
The whole
Just
thing.
what you want. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
What we want. Like.
All right. Delicious. This is a simple dish that's very rich in flavors. The technique is similar to Vietnamese spring rolls, so here we add blanched asparagus, fresh mushrooms, crushed chili and peanut crumbles, shavings of Parmesan cheese, and finally roll it all up. Chef Andy says he wanted to show me a dish that I could recreate, so one of the main ingredients is the rare beef, which he sources from the US so I can find it easily. He also knows I love vegetables, so he chose this preparation of 10-10 rolls as my flavor postcard from Prague to take home. Beautiful.
Wow.
Okay.
Chef Jackson, you have talent. Oh,
I hope so.
beautiful.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's better than for me.
And I
See that?
think what's really
Yeah, the
interesting
color, yeah.
for me is the color, right?
Yeah, the
because
color.
you
We
picked
cut-
this leaf, the color is really, it's beautiful. It's the contrast.
Full color, yes.
Yeah, yes, purple. Okay, and then what?
Okay, and then we cut same size.
Okay.
I'm Asiatic, I like cut 3, 5, 7, but I love 5 pieces.
Okay, cut it into 5
Yeah,
pieces.
5 pieces.
Okay.
But same size. We try 5 pieces to be nice.
So Chef Andy, you're gonna plate up this delicious tan roll. And this is the truffle.
The truffle sauce.
Beautiful. Okay, that's so beautiful. Okay,
Thank you.
So can I try something a little
Of
different?
course, you can
Okay.
make different.
Because also I'm visiting from outside the
Ah.
Czech Republic, so I'm gonna leave you something to remember me by. So,
No,
okay.
beautiful too.
So different,
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
different. So,
Sure.
Chef Andy, thank you so much for
So much.
teaching me your signature dish, and a gift to you from me. Thank you so much. This is something I can try to make at home, and when I eat it, I will think of you here in Prague.如果眼睛看到这道菜，好像是上寿司卷，然后好像是一块生鱼 tuna here, but actually no, it's grapefruit. So a very interesting pairing combination. Cheers.
Cheers.
What do you say in Prague?
Dobry good?
Dobry
Or just
good,
enjoy
cheers.
your meal, dobry good. Yeah,
Dobry
something
good.
Yeah,
Okay, here
dobry
we
good,
go.
Yeah. Thank you.
For me, this is absolutely delicious. Flavor of the beef in there is really accentuated. There's the truffle oil, crunchy things, a little bit spicy from the chili, the crunch of the peanuts, and then the asparagus. You have that texture in there that's really delicious, and that kind of creaminess from the cheese. It's not a strong flavor, but it makes it kind of all come together.
Yeah, make balance
Yeah.
because we make meal like that.
A lot of flavor. It's a small bite, but there's a lot of flavor in there. Grapefruit to kind of...
Grapefruit to make natural,
Ah.
make balance.
But why grapefruit, not orange or like some other fruit?
Because the grapefruit is making not too sweet, and then the taste is bitter taste. Bitter taste.
Okay.
To make balance because it's too sweet,
Sweet,
sour,
okay.
and crunchy. Because I choose grapefruit is make balance.
Ah.
5 elements like bitter, sweet, like 5 elements.
Yeah. So 5个 flavors, right? Elements, sweet, bitter, salty, sour, crunchy. It's all in here. Chef Andy says these 5 flavors are like a microcosm of life. After going through sour, spicy, salty, and bitter, we arrive at sweetness. It's a complete experience. Thank you, Chef Andy, for gifting me this heartfelt tan rolls recipe, full of perspective on life and the taste of Prague. I will treasure it always. Chef also says I must go to the Sapa market if I have time. Many of the fresh herbs used in his cooking are sourced from there. You know I love visiting local markets, so how could I pass this up? I'm here outside Prague about half an hour, and where am I at? Sapa Market. And what is Sapa Market? It's a giant Vietnamese market area filled with shops and stores and delicious treats for us to explore. And you may be wondering why there is a giant Vietnamese shopping area right outside Prague. Well, believe it or not, Czech Republic has a giant Vietnamese immigrant population. So over 80,000 people currently living in the Czech Republic coming from Vietnam. And how did these people get here? Well, earlier on, Vietnamese community, the communist government, also the Czechoslovakian government communist. So there was an exchange of workers to come over here and help things out. And actually a lot of people stayed. So suddenly we have a giant Vietnamese community here, which is awesome because it enriches both the culture and the food culture of this wonderful country. So I'm going to take you guys inside, lots of interesting things to explore on a little journey here. You're going to come along with me and we're going to go find some interesting, amazing things. Let's go. When we go to Sapa Market, and you can see already lots of different stores and signs and things like that in Vietnamese, but let's go in and take a look. Coming to the Sapa Market is almost like a visit to Vietnam. All the signs are in Vietnamese and everyone is speaking Vietnamese. All right, folks, Jason Wang's Sapa Market mini adventure video is about to start. The majority of what's sold at the Sapa Market is food, clothing, and daily necessities from Vietnam and Asia. But of course, there are also some eateries and restaurants. The Czechs say that this is the most authentic Vietnamese area in Europe. Sapa Market is really a bustling spot here with actually quite a large area of warehouses and all these different stores over here. So I'm in the mood for something traditional, delicious pho here. So in the mood for some noodles. So I'm going to find a place to eat it. And actually, right behind me here, a restaurant shop where I'm gonna try a delicious bowl of pho. So let's go in. Okay, you know, I can already smell it from outside here. So let's go in and have a look here. Okay. Hello. I've made my way into one of the restaurants at the Sapa Market and I've ordered an iconic traditional Vietnamese dish, pho. And this style of pho in this restaurant is northern style pho. So southern style you may be familiar with bean sprouts, 九层塔, 绿的柠檬辣椒, but this is the northern style, which makes sense because after all, Sapa is one of the northern cities in Vietnam. So traditionally the pho is eaten with this. You can dip it or you can eat it along, but really looks like Taiwan the youtiao. So a lovely treat and a lovely surprise here all the way in Prague. And what I love about pho is just the delicious broth. You know, this broth, crystal clear if you take a look at it. Very, very clean, simmered for hours and hours and hours, and lots of different spices in here. Just incredibly rich, full flavors, star anise, cinnamon, roasted onion, ginger, hints of lots of different full beef flavors, but highlighted by all those herbal accents. And the traditional noodle here, let me take a look. So northern style, slightly thicker noodle.
There's always something really fun about eating noodles, just that slurp and all that juice coming up there. But again, it's a crystal clear broth filled with lots of beefy, rich, aromatic flavors. And the tender slices of meat here that I'm getting into, the thin meat, just incredibly tender, just melting in your mouth, giving you that texture, a little bit of crunch from the herbs and the spices in here, plus that slippery, delicious, chewy, al dente texture of the noodles. I think it's really interesting. Sometimes you're traveling abroad and you go to a restaurant, you order something which you think should be authentic, and it comes to the table and you're thinking, that's not authentic at all. But 其实我们不应该想到底是道地还是不道地。You really 要从概念of 想到 OK， 如果有人从别的国家移民来，他们带了一道菜，这是他们家里想吃的菜 ，it reminds them of home。但是 maybe 他们来这个国家，他们找不到那些道地的食材，怎么办呢？ Well， 他们还是就是用当地的食材 try to make that dish. So while it may not be authentic, it certainly has its own flavor and its own sense of place and where this food is in terms of the culture of that particular country. So next time you're ordering something and you're thinking, maybe it's not authentic, think about where you are, think about the history of the people coming in there and how that dish came to be on that plate. So I'm gonna get back in here, a little bit of chili, a little bit of lemon in here, and I'm gonna be enjoying my noodles here in Prague.
I have to admit, I'm really super happy to have this bowl of pho in Prague. Maybe it's missing a few of the fresh herbs I might expect, but the flavor is definitely very authentic Vietnamese. Historically, Vietnamese have been in the Czech Republic for at least 3 generations. These immigrants look to foods such as pho to remind them of their homeland and to keep up their Vietnamese traditions and culture.
Lots of interesting things to try, and something over here that I see, a place for a delicious Vietnamese pick-me-up. I don't know if you can see right up here, cafe. So I'm gonna try something very quintessential refreshment here in the Vietnamese tradition. So let's go inside and find it. Delicious Vietnamese coffee, and take a look. It's a little bit unusual. This is a special Vietnamese drip coffee where they have an amazing little contraption here where you put the coffee grinds inside here, and inside they pour hot water, and it's usually dark roast, kind of coarse ground, dripping through, slowly dripping through into this thick, robust brew that's at the bottom of this teacup. And I think it's a little different because not only is there coffee in here, there's also something else at the bottom. What's that in there? Condensed milk. And you're thinking, Lian Ru, why do we have Lian Ru inside the coffee? Well, it has to do a little bit with the history of coffee and Vietnam. So Vietnam, back in the 1800s, coffee was introduced there by the French. So obviously a very strong French tradition of drinking coffee. And as it developed, coffee spread in popularity all over Vietnam. And actually today, Vietnam is the second largest producer of coffee in the entire world. So obviously in a French tradition, adding milk into coffee, cafe au lait, cafe latte, and things like that. But Vietnam, not the place to be rearing all the beef and things like that. So the dairy tradition was not there, but they still wanted to have dairy and things like that in their coffee. So what did they do? They started to add Lian Ru and condensed milk. So a nice way to add a Vietnamese touch onto a French specialty. Just gonna mix this up here. Typically you let it drip through, you let it condense down in the bottom, and then right before you drink it, you stir it up. Love that idea of the condensed milk in there, sweetness, nice full body richness. It's a powerful punch in here in a little cup. So let's have a drink. Wow, that's a big bam of like flavor. Intense coffee roasted notes and that lovely, lovely sweet kind of milky flavor you get from the condensed milk in there. Just be aware, it looks like a small glass, but it packs a big punch.
I've tasted both pho and Vietnamese coffee, 2 iconic foods in Vietnamese cuisine, and I have to say the flavors here are authentic. In 1993, the first Vietnamese immigrants set up a stall here to begin the life of the Sapa market. Within the next 5 years, Czechs began to take notice of this intriguing cuisine, and the number of tourists coming here to look for culinary treats and hidden gems grew. Nowadays, Prague even offers cooking classes on how to make Vietnamese food. As the third largest group of immigrants in the Czech Republic, the Vietnamese continue to add richness, complexity, and diversity to the Czech food culture. After leaving the Sapa market, I've got one more important task to complete. If I miss it, I'll definitely regret it.
It's my last night here in Prague, and what am I looking for? Some delicious, hearty, traditional Czech cuisine. And what better place to enjoy it at than the old town square? You can see the stunning view right behind me. So just want to point out that when we're in Europe and we're ordering meals, it's a little bit different than in Asia. So typically the waiter will come first and they'll ask for a beverage order. So after 点了饮料, 他们 maybe go away and then get your beverage and come back. And then they'll ask you to 点正餐. And the reason why is thinking about what you want to order, you can enjoy a nice class beverage. So here I've ordered a delicious traditional Czech beer, famous in Czechoslovakia. I mean, just one of the amazing products they have here. So I've ordered 2 delicious dishes. And as you can see, both very meat-centered dishes, and that's traditional of Czech cuisine. Very full portions, nice 很丰富的这种分量. And what do we have here? We have 猪脚. It's not 猪脚的那个前面的部分 that we may be more used to, but it's a little bit higher up, so there's 比较多肉. And 他们处理的方法 is actually quite delicious, 因为他们先煮过 and then after that 他们烤过，所以肉又嫩又 juicy， 但是外面烤的有一点 golden color, adds a really nice rich flavor to this. And the traditional accompaniments, you see pickles here, and you have the horseradish, and then you have the mustard here, delicious, and then you have some coleslaw and things like that. Of course, bread for a nice, really hearty meal. So I'm gonna dig in and try this one. Beautifully tender. 有的时候几乎都不需要用刀子进去, and you can see this amazing juicy, 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 and full of flavor. So delicious, tender, melts in your mouth, and then the nice glaze on the outside just gives it an extra layer of flavor. 因为烤过就有一个很好的这种香气 on the outside, and 搭上 all these different little things. You have the mustard. Just gives it a little kick. And 这个芥末不是通常的芥末，是还加一点 honey 在里头，所以有一种甜度。And 通常吃这种的肉的都是会搭配一些比较刺激的 flavor, just to make sure that as you're eating, I mean, it's 很大一块肉，但是你吃的时候可以有 different flavors and just to clean your palate. So wonderful. And the next item here, delicious Czech-style schnitzel. So they've taken the pork, 这是猪排，然后裹了粉 and breadcrumbs, 然后炸成一个酥酥的 golden brown. 传统的 Czech cuisine, 他们 really want to rely on the flavor of the meat itself. 所以他们佐料没有放很多，但是很简单的就是 a nice lemon for a little bit of acidity here. Check that out. And a delicious potato salad. So potatoes and meat, very traditional Czech cuisine here. So let me get into here. So it looks like a large portion. It's quite thin actually because 他们有把猪排稍微 pounded. But you can look into here, nice beautiful white meat, nice crust on here with a little bit of lemon just to zing it up. Really, really good. Very pure flavor. So 你真的可以吃到的肉的原味. Again, last night here in Prague, again, this stunning, 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 beautiful view. It's been a pleasure to be here and try the traditional Czech cuisine, to really sit back and relax. And you know, part of the thing about traveling is just really getting a sense of the culture, the local flavors, the history, and how that all brings itself together on the food on the plate. So just a wonderful experience here in Prague, and I hope you will come here someday and try out these delicious, amazing things.
I really love this way of traveling. With food, I've not only tasted the delicious cuisines of different countries, but have also gotten to appreciate the historical and cultural messages that speak through these foods. Of course, I'm always up for a museum, but for me, food is history and culture that is happening in the moment, right now. And I'm so fortunate to be experiencing it firsthand. My Food Hunter Michelin journey started in Hungary and made its way all through Austria and through to here, the Czech Republic, where it comes to an end for now. Along this journey, I was fortunate to taste the signature dishes of so many gifted Michelin chefs, interact with them, understand their creativity, and exchange ideas about food. Through their flavors, I learned so much about the local customs and cultures of these places. The biggest lessons I learned from these chefs were their intense discipline and respect for their craft, passion for food, and a generosity of spirit. More importantly, they each had the attitude of never settling, pushing boundaries and themselves, and always asking, how can I be better? This is a philosophy not just for cooking, but for all of us in life that's well worth taking away.